What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to episode number 306 of the VK Bros with Jason and Alex VK. Early apologies, my camera just ain't playing today, so you're going to get me a little bit janky styles this week. But how are you
I'm
going,
glad we
Alex?
spent. I'm glad we spent thousands of dollars on a new computer for you, for it not to do the menial task of providing video.
Yeah, and just on a regular basis, because it's one of the crazy things about a system that's supposed to be based on zeros and ones that either is or it isn't,
Yeah,
and you change nothing, and yet it changes everything in the background. So, great system. How are you going this week, Al?
I'm reeling after. I've had a very long birthday weekend,
Oh, yeah.
so it was a great weekend. Great weekend. But I have done like very heavy deadlifting on Friday. Then went car racing on Friday night, where I came just off the podium. I came fourth in class,
Mmm.
which is not ideal.
If you ain't first.
Um, you're last. Then I went to the gym again Saturday morning, then went go-karting on Saturday night. Now, I have to say this. I am one to blow my own horn, right?
They know.
But one particular session, the last session that we had, it was just me and my crew, okay? And one of my friends in particular is a huge racing fan, just like I am. The other guys are very good drivers, but not racing fans.
Right.
And the difference is racing lines. So you can have a lot of car control, and you can get a car to do whatever you want. But if you don't know what the racing lines are, especially when you're trying to pass or defend, there's a real technique to it. And because me and this particular person consume a lot of racing content, we're very good at it. And I'm not joking to say that if you filmed us racing, you could show it to grassroots go-kart people as an absolute clinic on how to pass. It was some of the most beautiful textbook maneuvers, and it's the most fun I've ever had. My visor was fogging up because I was laughing so hard. It was a great session. And then I played golf on Sunday morning. So everything was very lower back related.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a 40-year-old man, it is obviously taking its toll. And then spending, I think on Monday, I was like in the car for 5 hours. So today I've chilled. It's Friday today. I didn't go and do deadlifts at the gym today. I've just relaxed. I'm going to go for a long walk after this. And I'm going to recharge, reset, recuperate.
I love the fact that the listeners will just hear about this, you've done so much stuff, and then they're like, oh, but we're recording this on Friday mornings. It's been 5 days since the last of these activities.
But I did do squats. I did do squats on Wednesday, and I probably shouldn't have.
Right.
So I keep sort of, and it's not pain. It's just fatigue.
Yeah.
I can just feel my lower back is fatigued. And like on the golf course in particular, like even just standing over the ball, I could just feel it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, just
I
that
did dominate.
tightness.
Tight. Yeah, very tight.
Yeah, on my part too, I'll say first of all, shout out to the few people that reached out to check in on me after my foot and knee injuries. I appreciate you reaching out. Bit of an update on that. I did have scans on Tuesday afternoon. Good news is that in my foot there is inflammation and thickening of the fascia, but there is no tear, so that's good news. And just waiting to get the report back on my knee because I had an MRI on that. So we'll see what happens. But feeling pretty good at the moment, all things considered. Still can't walk very well, especially on the foot, but feel pretty good, all things considered.
Very good. Very good.
All right.
I want to start just with something quick. So
Okay.
I had someone, a regular watcher of the show, reach out, and she wanted an update on the structures beneath the pyramids that we spoke about it maybe 50 episodes ago. Now, I did tell her this, but I said we would talk about it. There's not a lot to update.
Can you do a brief refresher for any new listeners?
Yeah. So a scientist who's created this new technology has used a scan of the pyramids that is linked to AI that uses a special technology that actually like ground penetrating radar and scanned underneath the pyramids. And what it showed was essentially 4 huge pillars that went down like 5 kilometers underground and look like they connect to a box at the bottom. Now, everyone thought this is just absolutely buck wild. And the very easy way to dispel any of this is, well, let's just dig underneath and have a look.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone in Egypt's like, well, the main bad guy, what's his name? Hawass. You've known him from every like Discovery Channel thing you've ever seen. He has blocked any further excavation.
Mainstream archaeology is extremely dogmatic. And
yes,
you're not allowed to propose any different theories because their entire careers are built upon the stories that we all already believe.
Well, when he went on Rogan, he just kept like Joe kept on saying, "But how did they do it?" He's like, "It was a national project. It was a national project.
Yeah.
It was a national project." And what I find interesting is like we're going to talk about national projects today, and we're going to prove that you can't build stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So. But what is kind of tangential to that story, so not a lot of updates on that side. They won't let us dig underneath. That scientist who used that technology has gone and used it at other sites to prove that the tech is real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is like a small update on it.
That's a big deal.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what is kind of in line with this is all this talk about alien disclosure. So this week, there was a meeting outside the White House with a bunch of senators and Congress people who have been trying to get materials associated with aliens, UAP, to be released to the public. Because essentially saying, we fund it all, we own it all, like, let us know about it. Let us know if these exist or not. Mm-hmm. Trump has said that he's willing to release it, but the way it looks is that he's not even read into this stuff. And a lot of the structures that are built, this ultimate secrecy around this technology, has been given to private companies that aren't subject to freedom of information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is how they do this stuff a lot.
Yeah.
So it becomes commercial in confidence information.
But there's these whistleblowers that want to come out and talk about it, who literally say, if we come out and say what we know, we will go to jail for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get all this. They're trying to get all this whistleblower protections in place. I have no shadow of a doubt. So, like I said, I'm balls deep into this space.
Yep.
I have zero doubt that there is alien. We've had alien contact, and not even like. This is going to sound buck wild, right? This is going to sound crazy.
That's what the people are here for. Just
so
it's
you
a safe
know,
space.
You will think I'm crazy because you've not looked into this as much as I have looked into this. Okay, but there's some very serious reporters who are saying the same thing. People like Ross Coulthard, who I have a lot of respect for. Jesse Michael's got a great channel. I have no doubt in my mind at all that not only have we been in contact with aliens, but governments have done deals with them.
Mm-hmm.
And deals on technology transfers, like swaps of technology.
Yep.
Deals on human biological collection of data.
Mm-hmm.
Deals to help certain alien races versus other alien races.
Right.
I believe all of this to be true.
And what all of these aliens get in return is they are allowed to run all of our social media companies.
Potentially.
Which is why they all look so awkward, because they're trying to pretend to be humans.
Well, there's an interesting argument, right? So we're good at rocket propulsion. Okay, Elon Musk is about to launch the SpaceX IPO. That might happen by the time this airs, which is probably going to be the biggest IPO of history. They reckon it will be the first like instant $1 trillion company.
They're also saying that it might be a massive rug pull of retail investors.
It always is. Every IPO always is, just so you know. But if you see, UFOs don't use rockets. They use something else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it could be magnetism. It could be bending of space-time. It could be electric field manipulation. It could be a whole bunch of other things. It could be things that we don't even know, that like our physics don't even...
Concepts that we don't even understand.
Yep. They could be folding space-time. If you've seen the movie Event Horizon, that's what they did. Instead of going from point A to point B, they actually bend space-time to bring point B next to point A and then essentially step through a wormhole.
Mm-hmm.
On the wormhole front, there is apparently a wormhole here in Australia, the biggest one. Now, hold on, I'll pull this up. Now you got me on a roll.
Just for the listeners, I had no idea this was coming up today, but this is a great start to the show.
So, this allegedly is essentially the main runway for aliens to use to get to Earth, which is Mount Zeal, is the highest peak in Australia's Northern Territory, reaching an elevation of 1,500 metres and standing at the tallest summit on the Australian mainland west of the Great Dividing Range, located in the Western McDonnell Ranges within West McDonnell National Park. It is approximately 1,248 kilometres south of Darwin, blah, 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 blah. There's nothing there. It's just a big old nothing, okay?
I so wish the Google Earth picture had an alien in the back of it that they just happenly caught.
Well, I haven't heard anything about, like, this information only new to me. But there is one in Sedona where Ross Coulthard, and I want to just pull up Ross Coulthard because everyone will know this man. Every Australian will know, like, he's a proper
cool tard.
Images. Oh, that's a terrible photo. Let's find something a little bit more. Why have they made him look really bad?
Oh, it's the Joe Rogan putting the filter over the...
Yeah, it feels like that. This is Ross Coulthard. So he used to be... He's a proper journalist. He's a Kiwi, but he lives in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
He was on... they've even like... He used to be on 60 Minutes, The Current Affair. Like, he's a big time and a great journalist, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He has witnessed himself people come out of a portal in Sedona.
Right.
Now, we don't know what these portals are, but arguably it's probably something like the Stargate movie,
Stargates, yeah.
right? Now,
also showing your age with a Stargate reference.
Well, if I watch Kill Tony every week, Kill Tony is filmed at the Comedy Mothership in Texas, which Joe Rogan built. That stage is a Stargate. He's built the Stargate behind it.
Nice, that's cool.
Right? Okay, so now there's a movie coming out. Oh, it came out yesterday, called called Disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
That is the return of Spielberg. Spielberg this is a big time movie.
Right.
I believe he's read into the program. Like I said before, I think Chris Carter from the X-Files is read in. I think that Steven Spielberg is read into the program. He's had some, like, outside of E.T., he's had some very, very, very interesting alien movies.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff is in alien or ufology, as we call it.
We're ufologists. And a big thing in conspiracy theory circles is the idea that governments use Hollywood not only to spread messaging, but also to do, like, early, limited hangout disclosures of subjects that would normally break people's brains, to the point that if it becomes normalized through media, by the time it actually gets released by government, people are so used to the idea that it doesn't completely break their brains.
I think it's something more
insidious
than that, which is, and I've had this happen to me. I've brought a topic up and someone said, no, that's the movie. That's a movie.
Yeah. It's designed to deliberately discredit ideas because people just thought they saw it in a movie. Yeah.
The term conspiracy theorist was created by the CIA to cover up their conspiracies.
Yeah, but specifically the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
That's where it
yeah.
began. Yeah.
So it's a very useful. So I want to watch the movie. I'm going to watch it next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see if it's trying to put us on the path or off the path.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I have watched what's his first one? Something I can't think of it now. Where it was very much in line with all the ufology work that I've done. So I was like, ugh. Okay, so I want to see, because you know, he's obviously a much older man now. Has he become even more entrenched into the establishment? Was he not involved then?
Mm-hmm.
Was just interested, right? You know, they've even said the lead singer of Blink-182, he is a ufologist too. He has created an organization years and years and years ago and invested shitloads of his own money. And he has been accused. People have taken him down the wrong path too.
Right.
So that they've tried to discredit him.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm hugely fascinated with this this side. Now, what's that got to do with the pyramids? Well, there's a great argument that the pyramids weren't built by humans at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or that the pyramids were built by humanity prior to the our version of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe there was a more advanced civilization that was before us. I know Graham Hancock talks about this a lot, and that we essentially lost all our knowledge and technology. And we've chosen to go down a particular technological pathway now that we may have gone down a different pathway, and we were able to build things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen any of the remote viewing stuff, and I'm very into the remote viewing aspects as well, there are very prominent remote viewers who have viewed pyramid structures built on Mars
Mm-hmm.
that apparently were built 5 million years ago by these very large entities. And then all these entities kind of fit in with like what was in the Emerald tablets that talks about the Anunnaki. Anyway, there's a whole universe. We don't have enough time to do this right now. There's a whole universe out there. There's more to know. So when you're talking to your mates this weekend or you know, about all this stuff, hit them with the alien shit. Hit them directly between the eyes. Let's make it not taboo to talk about.
And this is actually a really good segment to discuss, because one of the things that Alex and I talk about all the time in our private life is the fact that our society is very, very good at making certain subject items completely taboo. And one of the things that I think that the boys like to do when the boys get together, because like I laugh about this all the time, right? Like, you'll go and catch up with the boys. You'll like we do a Christmas game of golf, and then we go out for breakfast every year with the boys. And every time we do the catch up, I'll be gone for 5 or 6 hours, and then I'll get home, and then Amanda's like, "Oh, how are the boys?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're good." And she'll like ask about their families and stuff, and I'm like, "I don't know. I got no idea," because we're not talking about it. Whereas I think when women get together, they're more worried about those sorts of things. So they talk about their families and what they're up to and how is everyone, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas when the boys get together, we just talk shit.
The assumption is that the family stuff's fine and sorted.
Yeah, that's right. And if there was a problem, you'd let us know. And if there's no problems, it's status quo. We can talk about other things now. And playing with concepts is one of the fun things that the boys do when they get together. And talking about stuff like UFOs and Bigfoot and those sorts of things, we find really interesting, not because we are 100% believers in it, but playing with the idea and the concepts and extrapolating that out is fun. And I think that it's a good lesson that if you don't do that stuff, I encourage you to do it, because what that will actually do is open your mind up about different subjects that the system has made taboo to talk about. And there's a reason why most of these other subjects are taboo to talk about. It's because someone is benefiting from your ignorance on the subject.
Also, too, if you look at history, some of the greatest thinkers of all humanity were literally killed for their beliefs that turned out to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Galileo said that we were not the center of the universe
Mm-hmm.
and that the sun didn't revolve around us and that we revolved around the sun. They killed him.
Yeah.
They killed him. Socrates was killed for what he believed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they were all right.
Mm.
So when someone says something, and I have actually found this in my friendship circle.
Mm-hmm.
When someone tells me something weird, I'll never dismiss it. I go, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you get to that? What? Like, just I want to know more about it because I know that I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So I can't know that it's wrong. Right? Funny little anecdote. Watched The Matrix recently with the new GF. And I had a bit of a talk after about why I think that movie is so important for people to watch. And in the movie, and I don't want to ruin it, if people haven't watched it yet from 1999, right, maybe pause it now, go and watch it and come back. In the movie, they depict two distinct worlds. The real world, and then essentially the Matrix is the digital world. What I think the creators of the Matrix were actually trying to illustrate is two distinct worlds that are in the real world.
Correct.
We live in this now. We talk about this on our podcast all the time, but the movie is a great way to exaggerate the idea. And what I was explaining to her was, and I've proven this, I will set traps at these communist meetings that I go to on Saturday morning, where they have no data, yet they are willing to fight tooth and nail for the system. Yeah. They are agents of the Matrix.
They're acolytes.
They don't know why they are fighting for it, but they will fight for it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you question, how did you get to that? Why are you fighting so hard for that? What data are you drawing upon to get to that conclusion that's making you willing to go up against me who has the information? They can't answer.
Yeah.
Because it's a program.
It's a religion.
And like you said, it's a religion. But like you said, that's the system working. That's the system. You know, even things like that, I think about that all the time. You know, the anecdote is like never talk about religion or politics at the table. I think they want you to do that because if you start questioning it, you might not respect some of the structures that are built for you.
That's right.
Whereas you should have a very healthy conversation about politics and about religion.
And this is a great segue into two of the subjects we're going to be talking about today, because how this is created by the system generally is by they get to own the floor in the marketplace of the ideas. They have access to you via mainstream media, taxpayer-funded media, now social media as well. They get to decide through censorship which ideas propagate, which ones don't, algorithms, all that sort of stuff. And, excuse me. Schooling's a big one too.
Universities, books that are available.
Just struggling here a little bit. Give me a sec. Okay. And what they typically do is they just keep repeating the same thing over and over again until you start believing it. Now, this will segue us into our first...
So just on that, there is scientific evidence that shows the brain stops considering a new concept when it's heard it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So because they know that, they use it. Keep saying it, and it will be true in your mind, even if it isn't.
And we are seeing one of these new narratives being written right in front of our eyes. And that narrative is being pushed by the Labour government against the One Nation Party. And that narrative is that One Nation is the party of billionaires.
I've got some pushback against. I think, yes, they've done that. That's a very small aspect of it. What I think Labor's doing even more so is in this budget talk, talking about how it's a fairer system. Fair, it's fair, it's fair, it's fair, it's fair. When categorically, empirically, statistically, truthfully, it is unfair.
Correct. But I also think that from a demographics perspective, I think one of the main reasons why we're seeing... So, okay, let's start at the beginning. First of all, the Labor Party is concerned about the rise in One Nation because of the polls. One Nation is polling extremely well. And the reason why, in my opinion, One Nation is polling extremely well is because...
they've just cracked $3 million just now.
There you go.
By the way, I just checked.
On a donation drive that started 2 days ago.
Yes.
But the reason why One Nation is doing extremely well is because the people are starting to struggle now in life. So we've spoken about this concept on the show many times. Australia has always been described as a lucky country, and we are. Because we are surrounded by nature's gifts. We have so much resource wealth. We have a beautiful country. You can grow everything here. We have lots of space and a small population. We literally were the luckiest country on the planet. And the problem is, with luck breeds apathy. So the biggest problem with this country, it's not the political class, it's us. It's because we've had it too good for too long, so we essentially checked out of politics.
Mm-hmm.
And because we checked out of politics, we weren't plugged in, we didn't know what they were doing, who was governing us, and we have been left with this political class running the country that is either corrupt or completely incompetent or some blend of the two. That is our fault, not their fault.
Totally agree.
If we were locked in and engaged, we would not have these politicians. So, the thing I find really interesting about this, and we'll show some clips in a second, is the first, and like the attack that they've had against Pauline Hanson for the last 30 years has been the same thing. She's a racist. That's what all political parties, Labor and Liberal, have said about Pauline Hanson for literally 30 years. But they've kind of stopped talking about it as much. They still mention it, and it's not really Labor ministers mentioning it anymore. It's the media still running that story.
Yeah.
But the Labor people aren't speaking about it anymore. And I think the reason why is because it's actually giving fuel to the One Nation base to talk about immigration. And
do you know what I actually think it is, that aspect is? There are so many brown Australians who are so supportive of Pauline Hanson. And I remember we showed it on this show years ago, this great picture of these two rallies, the Greens and then the One Nation.
It was at the last federal election, wasn't it?
The whitest cohort you've ever seen in your life was behind the Greens. And then you had all sorts for One Nation. Yeah. And I love hearing these migrants that have come here and that have become Australian, right? Built businesses, proud to be Aussies, right? And they're saying, no, shit, like this isn't a race thing. This is like a culture thing. And we left those countries to come to a good country.
Yeah.
And she's doing it for that country. And I think that's why, and now with social media, you can get so many of these things batched up.
Yeah.
That it's undeniable now.
Yeah, and pre-social media, calling her a racist was enough. It worked.
Yeah,
it literally worked for 30 years. Now it's not working anymore. And for whatever reason it is, but I think a big part of it is, like you said, it actually draws attention to the fact that she's not, because she is getting support from these minority communities, but also it draws attention to the fact that for most people who are against mass immigration like we are, it is not a matter of where they come from. It is a matter of the number and the timing. And the fact that we have a political class which is essentially telling the Australian citizen, not only must you accept a lower standard of living because we're going to flood you with more and more people, but if you question that at all, you're a bigot, you're a racist, and you need to go away.
This is the thing that infuriates me the most, Jason. And I wish I was on one of these panel shows. Because here's the thing that I've not received an answer for. Where are these people going to live? If we have 200,000 people a year coming here, where are they going to live?
Did you say 200,000 people?
Yeah, I meant in a year.
You put a 50% discount on it. We're averaging over 300,000 people a year.
Right. Where are they going to live? Just answer that question. Where will they live?
Yeah.
And they can't answer that question.
That's right.
Because if they answer it, they are they are agreeing with everyone's sentiment. We're not stupid. We know that you can't have a cost of living crisis, a housing crisis, and just flood the market with anyone. It doesn't matter who they are. You can't, the numbers don't stack up.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with race. It's got nothing to do with culture. It's got everything to do with resource.
That's right. And so I think, so they've pivoted. And the pivot they have made is they're now trying to say that Pauline Hanson and One Nation are the party of the billionaire class. They keep talking about Gina Reinhart ad nauseum. Now, here's the thing. What I love about when they bring up Gina Reinhart, this is one of the examples of where people are very ignorant and have no understanding of her. They just say, she's rich, therefore she must be a bad person. Gina Reinhart is one of the pillars of Australia. Most people don't know this. The Australian netball team, the Diamonds, our national team, is one of the most successful sporting teams in history. They owned that sport, essentially them in New Zealand for a long time. They owned that sport on a global stage. For decades, that team got their funding from Gina Reinhart. She funded them because the Australian public, we weren't funding them enough. So she was giving them $15 million a year to fund that sport and that national team. And it was only in, when was it, 2022? Maybe 21? Where she pulled that funding because, again, some of the players in the team started calling her racist and all of these things, which she's not. So Hancock Prospecting, which is her company, is one of the highest employers of Indigenous Australians in the country.
Yeah.
Right? She's not a racist person, never has been. Yeah. But this narrative got sent around to the point where some of these players started chirping up about it. So she did what any rational person would do, and she pulled the funding.
Yep.
And then
I believe she was also funding all the Olympic and Commonwealth Games winners.
Yep.
She was giving the cash prizes.
For she also just pledged, I think it's $200 million for war veterans to help them re-enter society and all those sorts of things. So she's not this big evil person. She's a businesswoman. She's done extremely well for herself, and she actually shares her wealth with the country, right?
Yeah. Not to mention she employs however many people that gives them a life.
Yeah, and high incomes too, right? Mining is a very lucrative endeavor. So anyway, so we've seen this pivot by the Labor Party where they're essentially trying to say Pauline is funded by billionaires. They keep talking about Gina Reinhart. And then they're also trying to tie her to Donald Trump. And they're literally now saying that Pauline Hanson is MAGA. She's America first, not Australia first. Now, before we get into the clips, I want you to understand why they do this. Labor knows that the majority of the people who support them respond to these slogans and these plays. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this earlier in the week about, and this comes up all the time when it comes to politics and campaigning, but the abortion subject, right? Without doubt, whenever we get up to a pivotal election, the left side of politics will talk about women's reproductive rights. That is not in a vacuum. They don't just bring it up because it's front of mind and it's a big thing in the media and they care about it. They bring it up because in every focus group, in every trial and demand political campaign they've run the numbers and they realize that they get the most visceral response from the majority of women when they speak about that particular subject. That's the only reason why they talk about it. Because they think they can make you care enough to support them. That's it. It's literally political campaigning, all right? And I shared an example of this during the week on the VK Bros, which was that reel of hantavirus leaving the earth as they realized that no one gave a shit about them. So think about it, right? We went from COVID, then they tried monkeypox, then they tried, what was the one after monkeypox?
I block them all out, man.
Right, there was something else, and then they did hantavirus. And even hantavirus started the exact same way COVID did. It was on a cruise ship, people were getting sick, scare. But people stopped caring.
Yeah.
So because people stopped caring, they stopped talking about it. Because it wasn't working. So they only bring these subjects up because they think it is going to work to manipulate you. They think that our current society hates billionaires and Donald Trump so much now that if they just associate Pauline with them, that you will hate her too. And do you want to bring up the Wayne Swan clip? I think let's start with that one.
Yep.
So just to give you a bit of a background for people who don't know, Wayne Swan used to be a bigwig in the Labor Party.
He was Deputy Prime Minister.
He was Deputy PM. He is the current director of the Labor Party. So yes, they've got a party leader in Anthony Albanese, but he actually runs the party. He also happens to be on the board of Cbus Super. And Alex and I talk about all the time about how the superannuation companies are in cahoots with the Labor Party and the Labor government. Labor essentially tries to continuously increase how much percentage of your income every week gets sent to their buddies at the super companies. And then they go to the super companies and force them to invest in their renewable energy projects so they can pretend that they've got private investment in their greens infrastructure.
And notice that in the new budget, there was no changes to superannuation, and yet all the changes were made for people that were doing like self-managed super.
Correct.
Are not going to get the same, it's become more lucrative. Sorry, it's become less lucrative to do anything else.
Yes, so they want you to invest in your super so your money gets sent to Wayne Swan. But I just want to play this clip to start off with because... So Wayne... So they talk about talking points, right? Political talking points. This is what politicians do. They get into a room, they workshop these talking points, and then they go, okay, this is what we're going to be talking about. This is the thing that the left does extremely well.
Yeah.
The left is always on message, and they don't care how stupid they sound because they know that for a lot of people who are not politically engaged, as long as those people hear something enough times, they will believe it. All right, do you want to play the clip?
Yep.
In that $27 plea to the Labor faithful, it's kind of backfired, hasn't it?
Not at all. One Nation are the billionaires party. They're pretending they're run on small donations, and they're running money from Gina Reinhardt and many other wealthy individuals.
Hang on a minute, you got a few millionaires in your pocket as well.
So can you pause it?
In your pocket as well. You got the...
In less than 10 seconds, Wayne Swan moved from his own campaign donation campaign to One Nation's the party of billionaires. They get money from Gina Reinhardt, and they go to Mar-a-Lago to get money from Trump. In less than 10 seconds, he got all three of those talking points put out there on the table.
I also checked Santos, Woodside gave money. Ed Craven, who's a billionaire. Anthony Pratt, who's a billionaire, all gave to Labor.
Yeah.
So go run and tell that.
Unions, oh my God, you guys are loaded as well. What are you talking about?
Let me tell you, when it comes to big money in this country, it's all going to One Nation, and this whole debate is a smokescreen for the fact that they are actually run by the top end of town, and they deliver the policies for the top end of town.
Scotty, I don't know about that.
Wage suppression for the rest.
Oh, well,
you guys do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we don't do the same thing.
Well,
We're
yes,
in favour of disclosure. We're in favour of disclosure. If this is the fair income fundraiser, let's see the detail.
Okay, well, how much money have you raised since you put out that pledge for $27?
I haven't the faintest idea.
But you're the party president.
I need to play. We're transparent. We need to play that again.
Yeah.
Suppression for the rest.
Oh, well,
you guys do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we don't do the same thing.
Well,
We're
yes,
in favour of disclosure. We're in favour of disclosure. If this is the fair income fundraiser, let's see the detail.
Okay, well, how much money have you raised since you put out that pledge for $27?
I haven't the faintest idea.
But you're the party.
How convenient.
So again, he's the party president. He is criticising One Nation for not being transparent when One Nation has a website that they are showing a tracker which shows you the exact dollar amount that they have received up until that point. Labor ran a paid $27 to fight One Nation campaign fundraiser, and they have not disclosed any numbers anywhere.
Pauline Hanson also posted last night a third-party independent review.
Yep.
Which she just posted the whole thing to show that it was legit. And like she said, someone asked her, like, because Albo goes, did she raise that money? Like, there's no evidence that she did. And then she said, if I'm running a campaign on Fire the Liar, if I lie about that, I'm done.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's over for me.
But again, I just need people to focus on the fact that Wayne Swan does not care how ridiculous he sounds right now. He does not care that he's completely contradicting his own points in every single sentence. That's not the point for these guys. They don't give a shit. They know that there will be a percentage of the population who will just hear his talking points that will seep into their minds, and then they will repeat it to their friends. That's what this is about.
Let's keep going.
It won't be I can tell you, it won't be $2 million, and I doubt very much whether One Nation will raise $2 million either.
So when did this come out? This was June. This is today.
Yeah.
I'll share this. This is the live tracker now. I'll just refresh it because it is going up. Let's see where it's at now. It's at 3,033,000.
Yep.
Sorry. Okay, so let's go back.
So you're questioning it as well as the PM. You don't believe Pauline?
Well, I don't know. But we're never going to know
you just
because the
doubted her.
disclosure laws don't go down to that level. So we're never going to know whether it's true. But what we do know is that they are raising a lot of money from high net worth individuals, including going to Mar-a-Lago to raise it with Donald Trump.
Oh,
Wayne, can I just say, it was a simple question. I just wanted to know
It
how
is,
much
yeah.
you've raised,
Yeah.
but you haven't answered it. So you don't know. And it's nowhere near the 2 million, presumably.
Well, I can
this is
tell
from
you
the
would be
public, by the way.
absolutely nowhere near the 2 million. And whether they raise 2 million or not's not the point. They're taking millions and millions of dollars from billionaires.
But
in
it's the
return
point
for
of,
a
it's the
policy
point of this
return.
question.
Can I say, Wayne, I mean, obviously Labor sent out a letter to all of their rank and file asking for $27 to fight One Nation.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're expecting the public and you're expecting people to donate. I mean, this is what major parties do.
Exactly.
They go out there and they're
Just on that, I genuinely believe he doesn't know because I don't think they give a fuck.
No, he knows, but he just knows the optics are terrible. Can I give you a bit of context?
Yeah.
So, quick search from ChatGPT, from the Australian Electoral Commission. In the 2024 to 2025 financial year, so this is the year leading up to the last federal election, the total amount of money raised by One Nation was $3.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
The total amount raised by the Australian Labor Party was $161.7 million. And the Liberals were even higher at $221 million. So this is why we covered this on the show a little while ago when Pauline Hanson was gifted her plane by Gina Reinhart, and it was about $2 million worth of plane. And we said how well she handled that because she had a press conference where she publicly thanked her and she named every donor that had given her money and how much it was. Mm-hmm. And the media went wild over it, but none of the politicians spoke about it. And the reason why the politicians didn't speak about it is because they know that what One Nation is receiving is a fraction of what they are receiving. And it's one of those things of like, they often say people accuse others of what they themselves are doing.
Yeah.
So if Wayne Swan is out there saying One Nation's getting money from millionaires and billionaires, and therefore she will have to deliver policy for them, then that means that's exactly what Labor is doing. He is accusing her of doing what they, in fact, are doing.
Yep.
Continue.
Okay.
asked for donation.
We do,
now. Well, you and I have no doubt. Now you have no doubt that you, as much as anybody else in major parties, will get donation from rich individuals to poor individuals. So everybody can donate. Now it's not about who's donating. It's not about rich and poor.
They should be disclosed.
It's about, I think from what I've read, Pauline, the One Nation Party have disclosed, that they've how much they've raised. What about the Labor Party?
Anything.
How much have you raised? Now it'd be great to be good to know
Well,
because
I
you
can
are
tell you
a party.
it's absolutely nothing like that.
Well, it doesn't
But
matter.
they have not
Wayne,
disclosed
can I just
their
ask?
finances.
Can
This
I
is a complete smokescreen to cover up the fact that they're getting huge donations
pause it?
from the top end.
All right, you've said that a few times now.
He's right. It is nothing like that because they raise roughly 50 times more.
But I also heard who's the CEO of One Nation? What's his name? I heard him on a radio show yesterday. So he goes like, they're not disclosing the number, but as at yesterday, I think they'd raised 20 grand.
There you go. Again, to give you a little bit more context, the largest donor to the Labor Party during that period of time was actually an investment entity associated with the party itself, which contributed $4 million. Among external donors, the mining...
Wait a minute, what's that?
Well,
What's that?
they take your money and they invest it to make more money, and then they pay it back to the party. It's probably classed as insider trading.
Okay, yep.
Among external donors, the Mining and Energy Union, or MEU, was the largest, contributing $3.3 million. And you brought up Anthony Pratt before. Anthony Pratt donated $2 million. And the South Australian Progressive Business Society, which is another Labor fundraising entity, was $1.4 million.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, about $1 here and $1 there. It's a farce, complete farce.
But that's what you're claiming. All right, so
it's true.
But how can you prove it? You're in government, right? So you can actually legislate to have this become more transparent.
We have disclosure laws. We've got new disclosure laws coming in next year. We believe in disclosure laws. They do not.
You've delayed.
But you can't even disclose your number now, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
And dithered on those disclosure laws. And that $50,000 cap is not coming in until when? Why haven't you implemented it yet?
Well, it will come in next year.
Yeah, what's the delay?
And that is something that we strongly support. We do need strong disclosure laws so people know who is giving the money to who.
It's not a coincidence that those disclosure laws, the $50,000 cap isn't coming until next year, which is after the Victorian state election.
Yep.
And whether there's a relationship between that and policy decisions that people take. Well, I've supported that all of my political career. But to be arguing about...
Well, then you've supported that your whole political career, but it hasn't come in yet, and you've been in politics your whole life.
Yeah, and his party that he's the president of has been in power for the last 4 years, and they haven't brought it in yet.
This is the thing that just drives me mad, right? Is like he can say stuff like that, but he's contradicting himself. Now, these girls are doing a great job of like holding his hands to the fire on this. But you have to be a moron to believe this.
But that's the thing. This is the thing that, again, that I want people to focus on. And it's the same as when I always bring up the abortion thing about women. He is saying these things because they think so little of you and your intelligence that they think this is going to work on you.
Yeah.
That's why he's so flippant with it. That's why he doesn't care about the blatant contradictions that he is making by accusing One Nation of A, doing things which we can categorically prove they are not doing. He's trying to say that they're not disclosing. They've got a website, they did an independent audit, and they released all of it. Meanwhile, Labor is doing none of those things. But it does not matter to him that he is blatantly lying to you because he thinks you are so dumb that you're just going to believe him.
About $2 here or $2 there or $20 is not the point. The point is that One Nation is taking huge donations right now from Gina Reinhart and others, and they've not disclosed until next year.
That's splitting hair here. It doesn't matter who she takes a donation from. You guys take donation from rich.
Of course we do.
But let's not distract it. The whole thing is that it'd be interesting to know how much you guys raise and whether or not your rank and file is prepared to give you guys money. Maybe you don't know, not donating because the rank and file says, "Hang on, we're sick and tired of you guys. You're not representing us." So it'd be interesting to know how much you guys actually raise from the rank and file.
Do you know what it sounds? It sounds to me a little bit like Labor might be a little bit frightened of One Nation, Wayne.
Not frightened of One Nation. We welcome the contest. We welcome disclosure and we welcome the policy debate because we're not in favour of tax cuts for the rich and wage suppression for working people. And they are. And they got everyone talking about who donated $1 here or $1 there. It's nonsense.
Well, you're not bringing down the cost of living for working people. I can tell you that.
We absolutely are.
From
We absolutely
an elected
are through
of working
supporting
people,
a stronger minimum wage. Giving help through Medicare, all those things are just...
I have to, I'm going to raise this every single time I hear this. To address the cost of living, giving people, like forcing minimum wage rises and paying more into Medicare is the opposite of that.
Correct.
It sounds like it does it, but if you know anything about economics, it makes everything more expensive.
Yep.
Everything. Okay? So that is complete bullshit what he's just said.
Happening right now.
Okay, well, it sounds as though they're encroaching on Labor territory. As an independent, do you even care what One Nation does?
Nah, look, I was like Wayne. I welcome.
I think Di's
healthy
joining.
competition.
I think that's code for Di's joining One Nation along with everyone else.
I don't know. Can I just?
Oh, Wayne, come on, Wayne.
You guys are jittery, Wayne. You guys are jittery.
That is always.
Can I now play? Can I play Hughesy's rant?
Sure.
So, Dave Hughes is a lefty.
But not even lefty. He was a rusted-on Labor supporter his whole life.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to play this this segment from the Today Show. I'm going to play most of it. I think this goes down as one of the all-time rants. It's not only is it hilarious, it cuts straight through the point, and I really think he's embodied what all the normal people are thinking.
And can I just also, before you play the clip, I want to provide a bit of context here as well, because something about Dave Hughes that you need to understand. He's been a dyed-in-the-wool Labor supporter his whole life. He was employed and taking income from the ABC for many, many years. He was on commercial radio getting paid by the system for many, many years. He pushed various narratives. He was very pro-COVID vaccine during COVID. He got that wrong. But this is an example of when someone finally takes the red pill, realizes the way the system was working, and opens their mind to it and comes over to the other side, you should celebrate that. And this is exactly what Hughesy has just gone through.
Okay, here we go. I love this. This is like one of my favorites.
That's joined the growing chorus of business owners slamming the federal government's latest budget.
He's all fired up. Comedian Dave Hughes going viral online after unleashing on the Prime Minister and Treasurer over changes to the CGT. Here he is.
The capital gains tax, if I had have known they were going to do that, I wouldn't have voted for them. But this affects every working Australian, everyone who actually pays tax, because we all have to have super, which is investments. And you've just doubled the take on it. Just solidified the fact we need another election because you didn't have a mandate for it. You didn't have a mandate for it. You lied blatantly, so it's not valid.
Hughesy!
Oh, he's angry.
What's going on with all you Melbourne people this morning?
We're fired up, aren't we?
Yes, not to be trifled with.
No.
Hughesy, good morning to you. Millions have watched that. How are you feeling?
Using your face.
Look, I'm feeling energised and distracted and erratic. But you know what, guys? They lied to Australia. You cannot do that. This has cost the whole country so much money already.
Exactly.
The housing market has tanked. They've cost every Australian who owns a home probably 15% of their housing value. You can't lie about that, Jim and Elbow. You can't do that.
They all do it, Hughesy. They all lie.
No, Sarah. This has never happened before like this, ever. John Hewson back in the day said, I'm going to bring in a goods and services tax before an election, and Paul Keating went on a scare campaign, and Paul Keating got elected as Prime Minister because John Hewson was actually honest about what he was going to do. This do not...
Just on that, I completely forgot about the introduction of GST.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I would love to know what we got as citizenry. What more did we get? And it might be a question for AI. What did we get for paying GST?
Right.
I'm going to ask. I'll continue.
Actually, if you keep it paused for a sec, just as a reminder as well, because I don't think Hughesy mentions it, but Bill Shorten lost the 2019 election against Scott Morrison, which everyone was referring to as the unlosable election for Bill Shorten, because Scott Morrison and the Liberal Party was so on the nose at that stage. But they lost it because he ran on bringing in these same tax changes that Albo and Chalmers have just brought through. He ran on changes to negative gearing and removing the CGT discount. And he did it the right way. Told them what we were going to do. Australia voted against it. And now, obviously, Albo and Jimmy have learnt from that and just changed their position.
Okay, sorry.
Went on a scare campaign, and Paul Keating got elected as Prime Minister because John Hewson was actually honest about what he was going to do. Do not let them off on this. This is an absolute disgrace, and the economy is going through the floor because of it. The people in charge of our country are idiots, and they treat our money like they found it in a sack by the river, and they've got to spend it before someone finds out. Honestly, guys, I do not have makeup on. You know why? Because Channel 9 here in Melbourne don't have a makeup artist because times are tough. You know what? The federal government's $1 trillion in debt. I get on planes and I walk past them. They're all in business class because they couldn't care less about being $1 trillion in debt. It's not their money. What do they care?
Hughesy, we're not letting them off the hook. Don't you worry. If you,
You
watch
better
our
not,
show,
Sarah.
if you watch our show, you know that we don't.
It's crazy.
And just on that note, Javier Milei, the president of the previously socialist country of Argentina, has said that he will not fly in business or first class. He'll fly in coach class with the people until he lifts them out of poverty.
Yeah.
And he has done so, and the people love it.
Latest figures showed that he has brought 1.2 million children out of poverty in the last 12 months.
Yep.
Crazy.
I'm with you, mate.
I know. When is he coming on your podcast?
Yeah, when are you actually?
What's that? So,
Carry on
I'll come on your podcast, mate. But you know what? When I'm in Sydney, I'll come on your podcast.
All right.
We're not wasting money, Carl.
Two
all right?
old guys raging at the machine. I mean,
we're allowed to be old guys. My own daughter
Exactly.
said, you're just an old white guy. Who cares what you think? I'm like,
I do.
What is happening
Other
in this
old
world?
white guys.
The world's
Old
against
white
you, Hughesy. It's against you.
Seriously, it's crazy.
Should we get you started on what's going on in Victoria?
Sorry, and just on the thing he said, which I think really cuts through it, he said that the government is spending money like they found it in a sack by the river is perfect.
Yeah.
It is perfect. Like, I talk about the book that I'm going to write, which is, and I talk about the different levels of value of money. So $1, the most valuable dollar is the dollar you earn through your labor.
Mhm.
Okay. A dollar that is worth a little bit less is money that you have won. And the least valuable dollar is a dollar given to an organization that has to spend it.
Yeah.
Which is what our government is.
Victoria.
Oh,
Mate, people bang on about the Westgate Tunnel and they say, it was meant to be $5 billion and it cost $10 billion because all the workers got 3 times what you'd get in the private sector, and no builders in the private sector didn't get any workers because they're all in the big builder. And I don't blame the workers. If I was offered the money, I'd take it too. People say it's no value. You know what? It is great value. That's a tunnel that you can get in for $10. $10 and you can have the whole tunnel to yourself, guys. You
It's
get the
true, I've
whole
been in
tunnel.
it.
You can have dinner.
it's a very lonely
you can
place
have a
in there.
romantic dinner in there.
Mate, I'm booking my 60th birthday party in that tunnel. It's going to be a quiet
Hopefully,
night.
I get invited.
No.
We can make it. We can make it a good night, you and I.
Make the tunnel
What
good
about the
again.
corruption in Victoria?
Well, I mean, look, we're disappointed in Victoria because we don't have any police anymore. So they've shut all the police stations because they've got to, they've got to pay everyone in the big build, so they've got to pay everyone in the big build to build infrastructure we don't need.
What are we going to do with this? I mean,
We haven't even asked them about Carlton yet.
No, Carlton are winning and I can't even enjoy
exactly,
it.
they're back. I wonder if you'd be interested in.
Here we go.
I mean, I saw the odds for people going into, representing one nation at the next election, and you're right at the top of the list. Would you go into politics, my man?
Look, I'm not affiliated with a political party and I don't really want to be, but I just want whoever's in charge to realise it's not their money and stop spending it like drunken sailors.
Exactly.
It actually affects everyone because hardworking people have to earn that money. You take half of it off them and then you just blow it on absolute rubbish. It's annoying. And, mate, people coming up to me on the streets all over Australia.
Yeah.
I'm getting off planes and pilots are getting out of the cockpit to say, keep going, man. We're sick of them stealing our money.
Power to the
are.
people.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And for that first home buyers grant, the first home buyers scheme, there's...
Jason said before, like, as soon as he's taken the red pill, he's now peeled the layer back and he's looked into this stuff. I reckon he had no idea before.
I agree.
He had no idea. There was some catalyst of change for him where he's like, hold on, let me check the numbers out. And this is how you should feel. Once you look, you can't unsee it.
Absolutely. You should be this angry about it.
I heard Elbow on the radio yesterday and he goes, oh, yeah, they don't have to be citizens because there's some countries that don't allow dual citizenship. So what he said is there's over 50,000 people who don't want to give up their citizenship of their home country. He's given them our money to buy houses in Australia.
I know, mate.
But they want to be able to go home. I'm happy for you can stay here, and if you want to go home, you can go home. But you're not getting our money to buy houses here. That's insane. So 50,000.
Look at his face. Look at his face, dude. He is incensed. Didn't he used to have a segment?
Yeah, Hughesy loses it.
Hughesy loses it. Yeah.
But he used to be joking.
50,000 non-citizens have been bidding at auctions against Australians with our money. And he's taken, and he wants to ruin like everyone's ambition in this country to get more money. You know,
All right.
what are you doing, mate? It's crazy.
Don't you even think about cutting him off.
I'm not cutting him off.
No.
I'm really excited about the next instalment of your pod together.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm very happy, Hughesy, that at least the Carlton Football Club is bringing a smile to your face.
Thank you, Sarah. And I'm happy that you're going to have a baby soon, and I hope it all works out and everything's going to be great for you. So, and just what I'm going to say to you is just don't go business class, Sarah. Go economy. So, because you're going to need that money one day. All right?
Are you listening, little one?
It's so good. Like it is a great rant. Now it's so funny reading the comments on, and it's the same. The comments, the only negative, most people like, we're with you, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being our voice. And then the only negative ones, wah, rich white man is worried about his money.
Yeah.
And he clapped back at people. He's like, I've got money. I'm sweet. It's you guys that I'm going to have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like saying, this is the thing, this is the matrix side of me, that if this is supposed to be about equality and this is supposed to be about helping young people get into housing, which is what Labor has said ad nauseum, then why did you do it? Why did you take away the CGT discount on shares?
Yep.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And they can keep saying it.
And why do you keep bringing in more and more people every single year for these young people to compete with for not even buying a house, just for a rental? Like, immigrants affect the rental market far more than they affect the actual housing market.
Totally. And the job market.
Yep.
Like, dude, yeah, it's egregious what they're doing. And we said at the start, me more than you. So Jason was more right about this than me. I gave Labor the benefit of the doubt the first time round. I said, we need to give them the best opportunity to see their vision of what the country needs to be. But every single touch of the ball that they've had, they have fucked it.
Yeah.
Every single time. There is not one policy that I have agreed with. And there is not one policy that does anything good for the majority of the people here.
Yeah.
Not one.
And the issue becomes that on the balance, so I'm a gambler, right? Gamblers, we live in the world of probability. The probability that you get every single one of these decisions wrong by mistake is 0%.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. In statistics, you never see this happen, right? They're getting it wrong on purpose. And look, unfortunately, so one of the things that we spoke about years ago on the show, and this probably segues us into the next subject as well, which I don't know how much more time you've got, but maybe we can cover it briefly. But years ago, we covered on the show the conspiracy theorists all around the world talking about the Great Replacement Theory.
Yeah.
And the Great Replacement Theory was essentially this. All rich Western nations, which were primarily founded on Anglo-Celtic values, were having their native populations replaced by immigration from third world countries. And there were various reasons given as to why that was the case. But we were probably talking about that 5 years ago on the show. But the reality is, if you look at every single developed Western nation, they've all experienced the exact same problems with immigration since that time. So whether this theory is right or wrong, and it's actually a concerted effort to do these things, in reality, if you were doing the Great Replacement Theory, you would do everything the exact same way all these governments have all done it at the exact same time. And the theory being now that not only have we got left-wing governments who claim to care the most about migrants and therefore are importing voter bases to entrench themselves in power forever, which is what it appears the Labor government is trying to do, and it was the Democrat playbook over in America as well, which is why Trump, it's not a coincidence, as soon as Trump won, he closed the border, because he knows that's what the plan was, and he was trying to stop the plan. And yes, that's to help the Republicans. But at the end of the day, if you're a native citizen of a country, you would hope that you have control over what happens in your country, rather than foreign interests coming into your door, right?
Yeah.
Labor's doing the exact same thing. So the problem is, all of us Westerners, we expect a certain standard of living. And under the Labor government, we have had the worst performance in the developed world for when it comes to things like we have the highest interest rates in the developed world, we have the highest inflation in the developed world, we have had the largest drop in basic living standards in the last 4 years of any country in the West.
We dropped 100 places on the economic complexity chart just since Labor's been in power.
Yeah.
100 places. Trinidad and Tobago, which I can't point out on a map, is more complex, has a more complex economy than what we have. And to combat productivity, which is what Jim Carter said that he was trying to do with this new budget, he's going to tax business owners more.
Yep, which will do the opposite. Now, again, you have to look at how the Australian economy is structured, especially with our taxation system. We get roughly 55% of our total tax intake from income tax. Therefore, Australia sees every new migrant worker as a tax cow that they get to add to they get more and more money out of the individual worker. At the same time, we all know that the entire Australian economy is essentially propped up by the housing Ponzi. And we are in this situation now where housing prices have become so out of reach for the average Australian that the great Australian dream of wife and husband owning a home together with their children, a dog, and 2 cars, that's gone. So it's purely coincidental that one of the countries that we are targeting for migration, which is India, and you can tell that they're targeting India because we have done deals to make migration from India far easier, both in obtaining a visa and also the transfer of qualifications for various fields. It is not a coincidence that India...
Dude, my Instagram is showing me ads in Hindi on how to get from India to Australia to get the money.
That's right. And again, it is not a coincidence that when the housing Ponzi may fall over because all of a sudden normal, regular Australian families can't afford the houses anymore, we are targeting a nation where you're used to having 6, 7, 8 adults living under the same roof. Because 6 or 7 adults can continue to pay the prices required to keep these housing prices high. But 2 adults cannot anymore. So unfortunately, as much as it's... And again, the system wants this subject to be taboo. They want to call you a racist for even talking about migration, and even me bringing up the fact that they're targeting Indians, they will call me a racist for doing so. But again, I may be wrong for the reasons why they're doing it, but the reality of the decisions that are made are doing the exact same thing that we are talking about. Yeah. And that's the point.
And they've never, the only... And I don't even think Australia has done it. It's only like Malinowskis is the only person who said it, that we need bum wipers in the future.
That's right.
That's the only person who's actually told us why we need these levels of immigration.
And he literally said that he wants to bring in immigrants to do the shitty jobs that he doesn't want his kids to have to do.
Well,
so they pretend to care about migrants, but they look at them as expendable tax cattle that will wipe your ass when you're elderly, right?
Which were the batteries in the Matrix.
Exactly right. And look, you literally brought up batteries, right? One of the narratives that we've heard ad nauseum for the last 15 years, especially in this country, is how we need to switch from fossil fuels to renewable energy because climate change is going to destroy the world. And now we're talking about doing deals with these giant multinational corporations to do AI data centers in Australia, which are one of the most energy-intensive buildings that you can ever build.
Yeah.
Right? So as soon as the actual needs of the billionaires and the corporations change, all of a sudden their narrative changes too.
Do you know, I only just thought about this in real time, so I am only thinking it out. Okay?
That's good.
Remember we've spoken about, and one of the best examples of why you should let the free market solve problems instead of governments solving it was NBN versus Starlink, right? So the NBN is still not finished. It costs $80 billion and we still have to pay very high prices for our internet, okay? Yeah. Elon Musk covers Australia in Starlink satellites we paid nothing for. We only have to pay for the usage charges. So we could have saved ourselves $80 billion by just waiting for a smart person to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going about data centers, and we spoke about this on, I think, 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk is building the next data center in space. Do you know this?
Yep.
And he is using solar because you can use solar so you can't use solar for data centers on Earth because solar only works when the sun's shining.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can face it to the sun and there's no atmosphere between the sun and the panel is essentially 100% efficient.
Yeah.
Whereas on the ground, they're like 30% efficient.
If that,
okay?
yeah.
Right. So you can't run a data center on the ground with solar. If we were smart, why wouldn't we steal Elon's idea and why don't we build one in space?
That's right.
Right? Because that makes sense, right? And doesn't cause any of the flow problems. Like you said, building a data center in space doesn't affect our energy on the ground.
Nope.
We don't have to take farmland to convert it to a data center or to solar panel. We don't have to do any of that shit. We don't need transmission lines. We need nothing. It's out of sight, out of mind, and it can just operate. But that idea already exists and someone's already working on it. This will be the same thing. We'll go build, by the time we finish our data centers here in Australia, they'll already be redundant because Elon Musk's already built a better one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we'll probably end up using his and not ours.
Yep. And I'm also, and on the same note, like, I'm telling you right now, guys. So we spoke about the great replacement theory 5 years ago, and it is happening in real time, whether that's what you want to call it or not. The other thing that I'm going to say, all these renewable projects that we've done, these solar farms, these wind farms and everything, in 10 years' time, they'll be defunct and not operating anymore, and we would have gone back to fossil fuels or nuclear. That's going to happen. Right? You could have heard it here first. You could have heard it here 5 years ago when we were talking about it back then as well. That will happen as well. And along the way, all of us have been completely fleeced of our tax dollars, and all of these rich billionaire, predatory billionaires like your Twiggy Forrests and your Mike Cannon-Brooks of the world, who are in bed with the Labor Party, they've taken billions of dollars of your money via subsidies for these projects that we're not even going to use long term. That's what's going to happen. It'll be the same thing. Alex is exactly right. We should not be doing deals to do terrestrial data centers. For those of you who don't know, they've just built one in the United States. It is 62 square miles. That is the size of this data center. 62 square miles. Is that roughly 100 kilometers? It's so, imagine you had a football field that one side is 100 kilometers and the next side is 100 kilometers too. And that entire football field is an AI data center. That has just been built in the United States. And they want to bring that over here.
Hold on. How many football fields did you say?
I just said, imagine it is a football field, but it's 100 kilometers.
It's 100 football fields. No, it's 1,000 football fields.
Yeah. I was saying that the football field itself was 100 kilometers long. But needless to say, all of these narratives about climate change and energy change and all of that sort of stuff have completely disappeared the moment the billionaire class has decided that AI data centers are the next big cash cow. Right?
And also, sorry, you finish up.
Yeah, I'm good. You go.
So, and the other thing too, and again, it's an Elon thing. You don't need bum wipers if you have smart enough AI and robotics.
Correct.
So we could have we could have all the resources for ourselves here. And yes, it sounds greedy, right? But we can look after our borders. We can have an extremely high standard of living if we technologically solve these problems, which is what mankind has done for its entire existence.
Yep. And I would argue it is greedier to take the only qualified people out of third world countries so we can utilize their skills for cheap.
Totally.
Imagine if you're a doctor in India, you don't think that the Indians need that doctor more than we do?
Yeah.
Nah, but we'll drag him out of there. That's the nice thing to do.
We'll colonize their brains.
Yeah, exactly. So
let's leave it at that.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.